Dynamite together. Yes, they have more work to do to round out their depth. The front office has plans for that. That's a good problem to have.
Agreed.
When you have those three guys, that's a great starting point. If they're healthy, and that's a big if with these guys, I think you're nuts with your 45 wins. I think those three guys alone get you up to 50. And from there, stop being so grouchy about Bradley Beal.
You're grouchy about me being grouchy.
But Zach, like it's all about the postseason for them. Getting the wins in the regular season. Okay, cool. But will they stay healthy? And will you have enough shooting?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to make the others beat you.
Right.
That's what's gonna kind of tip the scale for them. Is like I do agree with RJ as far as like. You have the top three guys, but what else? Will you have enough shooting? Will you have enough defenders?
Right.
We have bigs.
Ayton, yes.
Yeah, well, DeAndre Ayton actually, I understand DeAndre Ayton and his frustrations.
Yeah.
Because what he sees right now is while, it didn't work out great with Chris Paul, they did go to a finals that first year. After that, he is now lower in the pecking order. He is like the fourth most important shooter scorer on that group. So if we think that DeAndre Ayton's going to come in more locked in, more focused,
even in a limited role, he can have a huge role because if you set the screens, you have Kevin Durant, Booker, and Bradley Beal that you have to stop. You have layups on layups. And
number one picks don't just want layups.
No, that's a fact.
Well, here's the thing. It feels like we're all talking about depth. This is the time to bring in Bobby Marks because we know that the Suns, they have a big three, but who's going to fill out the rest of the roster, right? That's the question. Our salary cap expert, I hope he has the answers. So let's get to this, Bobby. What do you see the Suns being able to do here?
The veteran minimum exception, Malika, when you look at their roster, 8 players under contract. They're over the luxury tax. They're over the first apron. They're nearing the $182.5 million second apron here. So when you look at either the veteran minimum or bringing back some of their own players here, certainly Torrey Craig or TJ Warren or Terrence Ross, players like that, basically to fill out their roster here. And if they can't even go out and acquire a player in a sign-in trade right now and even if moving DeAndre Ayton because of the hard cap restrictions here. So it's the veteran minimum, bringing back their own players, and basically filling out that roster.
Okay, so quick question for you here, Bobby. Chris Haynes, he reported earlier today that Kyrie Irving, he wants to take a meeting with the Suns. How would Kyrie and the Suns even work there? Is that even possible?
Sure, if he wants to take the $3 million veteran minimum exception.
Got it.
All
right.
power to him.
All right, got it. Well, we're going to leave you to reading that 676-page new CBA, Bobby. Thank you so very much. Perk, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think that keeping Ayton is the best move for Phoenix, given everything that Bobby just laid out?
Well, but I think Richard is a hater. That's the number one thing. I think he's a hater. One, you're not going to sit up here and tell me that Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, just those three guys alone are only going to get you 45 wins. You're not going to make that make sense to me. Second of all, when it comes down to DeAndre Ayton had a problem with who? Monty Williams. Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton didn't see eye to eye. Now all of a sudden you bring in a new coach for Frank Vogel. Bradley Beal just talked about how he feel like he's getting a fresh start. You don't think DeAndre Ayton is coming to that season with the same type of mindset? And we saw this past postseason. Your coach have to pump that trust into you and that belief into you. We saw it with the Miami Heat. We saw it with Michael Malone and the Denver Nuggets with Aaron Gordon. I believe that we're going to see a different version of DeAndre Ayton if the Phoenix Suns decide to keep him. But at the end of the day, these are three of the most prolific, efficient scorers in the game. Kevin Durant shot 55% from the field last season. Bradley Beal, 50%. Devin Booker, almost 50%. Like, what are we talking about right now?
Of all the big threes that worked and the things that they had in common, right? We did that. And I don't know if Perk was watching that day. I don't know if his plane was what his situation was. But ultimately, I understand what you're saying. Those top three players can get you a lot, right? I don't dispute that. But they are three players with a very similar skill set. Neither of them are creators. Three of the best scorers that we have ever seen in the history of the game of basketball. My only issue is that you need balance. Show me a team without balance. Toronto had balance. They won a championship. Golden State had balance. They won a championship. Lakers had depth and balance. They won a championship. Denver had depth. Milwaukee had depth. All of these teams had depth. The last 5 champions, we can point to that. So when we look at the Phoenix Suns, what in the last 5 years has told us that this team can get it done?
Well, and right now the Denver Nuggets are the bar.
Well,
Yes, they are.
Just the fact of the matter. Last word on this, Perk.
Who's going to guard
No,
Ayton?
go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, we're going to get back to the Suns a little bit later. We're going to get back to the Suns a little later in the show, Perk. It's official. Bradley Beal, a member of the Phoenix Suns, 3-time All-Star, had his introductory press conference earlier this afternoon. So here's what he had to say about teaming up with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
I'm excited about it. Like, you have a lot of dynamic scorers who the biggest box that we check is our unselfishness. You know, all of us just want to compete. We want to play hard. And the biggest thing, we want to win. You know, and I think we all have unbelievable talents that we respect. And we unselfishly push each other to be the best we could possibly be. So I'm looking forward to it. K, Dev, DA, like, these guys are a great core piece to the franchise. And I'm happy, like you said, that you can go guard Devin and K tonight. You know, I can chill a little bit and not face so many double teams. A little bit more open shots, you know. I can work on my catch and shoot a little bit more. So we're good.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jack from Jaggy Sports. So free agency is a day and a couple hours away kind of thing. So now it's kind of like this. What is going to happen? Like, you hear the rumors galore. You hear Kyrie Irving, which we're going to get into in a second. You hear James Harden, Fred VanVleet. The list goes on, right? So it's hard to keep track because my phone keeps blowing up, but I'll try my best. We're going to talk about Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie Irving, you guys saw what happened in Brooklyn. Then he got traded to the Mavs. Last year's contract, Mavs are willing to pay him 5 years. So him being a free agent, he just pretty much said that he's going to take a meeting with Phoenix. Now, everybody's thinking, oh, it's not going to happen. Phoenix is not going to get him, but because they got like a lot of money tied up in that big 3. However, don't be mistaken. Or, sorry, big 4. Don't be mistaken, because they got an owner in Matt Ishbia or whatever, sorry. He doesn't care about money. He does not care about the money. And quite frankly, if he doesn't care about the money, it's kind of like, okay, spend and get whoever you can. So if he wants, he could get Kyrie Irving in free agency. If that's the motto that he's saying, that I don't care, I'm willing to spend, right? You're looking at Bradley Beal, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. 5 guys that can make a lot of money, or that are going to make a lot of money, and quite possibly could win the championship, because now you're dealing with an absolutely stacked team. I know what you're thinking. It's not going to happen. Phoenix is just being nice. They just want the meeting kind of thing. But you never know, right? Because at the end of the day, why set up the meeting? Why set up the meeting? It doesn't make any sense to me. So that is that. Kyrie Irving going to take a meeting with Phoenix. Obviously going to take a meeting with Dallas, right? I don't think Lakers are interested in the guy, because they don't want to get into that second apron of cap, right? They have a budget, obviously. Phoenix doesn't. It was crazy because the Clippers owner, Steve Ballmer, I thought he didn't have a budget. I thought he's willing to spend, but obviously last night when they waived Eric Gordon, and that was $21 million off their books. And I think they saved about 110 in luxury tax, which is unbelievably crazy to me. You know, that is that. They're trying to ship out Norman Powell and trying to get under the second apron. So let's talk about James Harden. James Harden quite possibly could take a meeting with Houston, could take a meeting with Philadelphia. So that's if he opts out of his contract. So now it's kind of like Houston has $60-something million to spend. They could go after James Harden, but now they've been linked to Kyle Kuzma. They've also been linked to Fred VanVleet. It's on the record that they're going to offer Fred VanVleet $80 million for 2 years. So that's 40 per. I don't see him not turning that down. He's going to sign that contract. If it's a legit thing, if it's 40 per guaranteed, who wouldn't want to sign that contract? So now it's kind of like Houston's in the play because they got a lot of money, but also Sacramento's in the play because they got $36 million to spend. And Draymond Green is up for a free agency. Will he re-sign with the Golden State Warriors? All signs indicate that he will. But Sacramento has 36 to spend. And the numbers on Golden State Warriors is crazy. If they sign Draymond Green to an actual contract, this free agency, their luxury tax is like $250 million. That is incredibly insane. I've never heard of that, right? $250 million. Insane. So he might re-sign with the Golden State Warriors. I can't see this guy going anywhere. But at the end of the day, a lot of moving parts. You have Phoenix, Dallas, Houston, Clippers, who are just trying to shed some money. Philadelphia trying to get James Harden. That is the case. Fred VanVleet in play right now for sure. He's not going to come back to Toronto. Not a chance. No way that Fred VanVleet comes back to Toronto. I highly doubt that. But with the Lakers, their main two priorities are Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves, which they will re-sign them 100%. Now, I read, and multiple people have sent me this as well, they might, and they're very confident that they can sign Bruce Brown, aka Brucey B, which is a freaking hilarious name, by the way. Brucey B could go to the Lakers. I don't know if that's going to happen because Denver is the reigning champions. They got a legit team, and I just can't see that happening. Right? Brucey B, he's very good, but the most that Denver could offer Brucey B is $7 million, and Lakers could offer him 12. So we'll see what happens on that note. A lot of moving parts, and the big one right now that people are not talking about, but they should, is Kyrie Irving. Again, Kyrie Irving is taking a meeting with Phoenix. If he was not interested in Phoenix and Phoenix was not interested in him, then there'd be no sense in, signing him. There'd be no sense in meeting with him. But the fact that he is meeting with Phoenix says a lot, right? You gotta think, why waste precious time with Phoenix? Why would Phoenix waste precious time interviewing, meeting with Kyrie Irving with no intention of actually signing him? So you got to take a look from that perspective. A lot of free agency moves happening. James Harden, Kyle Kuzma, Fred VanVleet, Kyrie Irving. So leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. Will Kyrie Irving sign with Phoenix, or will he sign with Dallas? Will James Harden sign with Houston, or will he sign with the 76ers if he opts out? Will Kyle Kuzma sign with Houston, or will he go to Detroit, where they have $30 million in money to spend, his hometown, right? Flint, Michigan, his hometown. He could go back there. I don't think he's going to go back to Washington, but you never know. Will Fred VanVleet sign with Houston? I think he will. Will Draymond Green sign with Golden State Warriors, or will he go to the Sacramento Kings, or will he actually sign with Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers? We don't know, right? And another thing is, will Damian Lillard get traded to the Miami Heat or the Brooklyn Nets? A lot of stuff in play. 100%, a lot of stuff in play. Again, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. Who is going where? There's too much to actually say, but I'm just going to leave it like this. Who is going where? Let me know what you guys think. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.